So welcome back to this ongoing meditation. We are all gathering here at this time to practice meditation, and how the meditation works and how does it help in our day-to-day life. We know that we're born with the miseries, and as we grow old, we become miserable too. And misery after another, we engage. The more we want to overcome from the miseries, the tangle we become, entangled both inside and outside. And as a result, we become stressed, we become more miserable, and we feel depressed. Practice of a meditation is to understand that state of the mind, not the get reading of, but understanding them, and not committing or not having any papancha, the mental proliferation on those. As tonight's Dhamma talk that I have mentioned, that we are now is basically what we were doing, and what will be in the future, again, the results of what we are doing now. So every action that we take now confirms our future. So practice of a mindfulness meditation helps us to recognize every action that we are taking, and being mindful of every action that we take, we will be able to mindfully reflect on every action that we take, whether that is beneficial for oneself or not, whether that is beneficial for members of a community or not. If that is harmful, causing a trouble and causing a distress, causing more trouble to others, then one should not be doing that. And that sort of a mind we develop, it will bring peace and harmony. It brings wonderful and joy, free from any fear of own self, fear of others. Feel fearlessness with that life and the life after, because every action that we take confirms the good future. Thus, a practice of a mindfulness meditation is simply to be mindful of what we are doing during this time when we are doing it, without any color or shapes on it. And it is not easy, because our habit pattern is such that we've been engaged in worldly matters, and we've been engaged in this fulfilling the desire of this mind, always on the go, on the move, and always feeding this desire 24/7 days. So that's why it takes time, it takes dedication, determination, consistency of practice, and how much you understand. So that's why urgently practicing is a key. And as we are ardent in our practice, we become more conscious about what we do, ability to comprehend any action that we are taking. With that, we are always in the moment. Ability to free yourself from any lamentation or sorrow or the grievings or covetousness, attachment to the world and such and such. So practice is not easy, although appear to be simple. When we do, it's very difficult. And that's because our mind is always wandering, always changing, always moving from one branch of a tree to another. That's why it is also known as a monkey mind. And in order to train this monkey mind, first practice is known as the concentration practice. And basically trying to have an object and keep this mind on that object. So basically intuition, in your own intention, you are diverting your attention from non-stop to stop. So you are diverting your attention, or you're distracting your attention from non-stop, unknown, to the known and stop, here and now. So in that case, again, it is known as a concentration meditation. And we can use any objects to practice meditation on that. But we prefer to use any object that is related to the breath. So we focus on the rising, falling of the abdomen as a breathe in and breathe out that takes place, or awareness of the breath, incoming breath and outgoing breath at the nose. So these two places are conducive for the practice of a concentration meditation, and use that as the primary object of concentration. But one thing you have to remember, that this you have to choose which one is more productive, more empirical and comfortable for yourself. And once you have chosen, you have to work with that for significant of a time. So do not change one to another often. Like today you feel that rising, falling of abdomen becomes very dominant and easy to pay attention to, and you spend all half an hour working with that, and then next day you come back again, and as soon as you practice, and as soon as I introduce to say that, okay, spend some time on a breath, and you feel comfortable on the breath, or incoming breath and outgoing breath, then again do not move to the nose, incoming and outgoing breath at the nose. You remain with the rising, falling, which is again similar to the incoming breath and outgoing breath. If you have chosen that, do not change your object for some times. It is simply because we are training our mind, which is very hard to train, very hard to tame. So in order to train and tame it, so we have to have one firm, established object. And with this we will be able to narrow this mind down, and gradually we will be able to tame it. Otherwise, if we are constantly moving, we would not be able to get any benefit. And it would be very difficult to comprehend things. So that's why at first it is advisable to have an object and work with that object for some times. And as your mind becomes established, stronger, and gradually you can open your senses to understand other things, which is known as the seeing things differently in a distinctive way as the way they are. So further ado, so let's practice sitting in a comfortable position, in an upright position. Relax and spend some time on the breath and see where the mind goes and establishes by itself. And spend some time with it and use that as a primary object of concentration. So settling your mind down there, aware of that as they arise, as they vanishes, or as you feel and as whatever ways you are feeling. Just concentrating on that. And obviously when you're concentrating, your mind will drift away, which is very common. Whether you've been practicing long or whether you just started, it is bound to happen. Then do not worry. And you are not alone in this journey. Everyone has to go through with it, and everyone has to work with that. All what you need is the recognition that this is distracted now, bring it back. So this is a very harsh, quick and easy way to do. You know it, leave it back to the moment. Doesn't matter how many times it distracts to the thoughts into the past or the future or the sound or the bodily pain and whatsoever, just neglect them and just come back to the moment, establishing your awareness on the object that you have used it as a primary object, whether the breath or the abdomen. Just be with that, simply concentrating on there, such as if you feel comfortable with the rising falling, as breathe in and breathe out, rising falling takes place. Do not follow the breath, but simply aware of the rising and falling of the abdomen as it takes place. And mentally making a mental note, rising. If you see that it is rising, just simply telling to yourself rising. And if it's falling, simply tell to yourself it's a falling. And you may feel that even just a few breaths or a few rising, falling, that you become mindful of it, all the burden from your shoulders just drops and you feel relaxed, feel peace and feel silence. So continue in this way, practicing until you hear the gong. So simply establishing your awareness on the primary object, whether the breath or the abdomen, and whenever mind distracts, just tell that distracted mind and just bring it back, let go and bring it back to the primary object. And each time when you feel calm and peace, just aware of that. So continue practicing until you hear the gong. It's time to practice loving kindness meditation. So relax yourself, adjust your position, and bring your attention to the body. Awareness of any sensations that is taking place in your body. Recognizing them, and bring that attention to your hand. Awareness of any sensations in your hand. And bring that awareness to your heart and generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. May I be free from suffering. May I be free from ill will. May I be free from hostility. May I be free from anxiety. May I be free from troubles of body and mind. May I be liberated. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from the dear one, and all the sentient beings in this entire universe. Whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings, may they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace. May they be free from troubles of body and mind. May they be able to maintain their happiness May they be liberated, liberated, liberated. Bring your attention to your hands. Observe the sensations in your hand. And spend some time observing sensations in your body. Whatever sensations are there in your body, observing that. And as you hear the gong for the third time, slowly coming out from meditation. Let's pay respect to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha.